Hey there, Matt Schneidman coming to you from BrightBytes here with a short video to look through the classroom domain. Before taking a look at the domain itself, I do want to highlight this visual right here. It shows how we think about the classroom domain more as a dependent variable. It is dependent on the level of access that students and teachers have to devices and what the network looks like. It's dependent on the types of skills that teachers and students have, and it's dependent on the environment that they're operating in. Is it one that encourages technology integration? Is it one that encourages conversations about technology, risk-taking, reward, things like that? When you're looking at data within the classroom domain, specifically the 4Cs, thinking about why some data might be showing up as it is, how does that connect to the other three domains? So we want folks to think about the platform holistically. I'm going to go through and just quickly highlight a couple things within the classroom domain. I'm going to also share a navigation technique that I think is valuable of right-clicking and opening it in a new tab. But starting at success indicators, I'm going to quickly go to trends in case you have historical data. This is where I start. So you can see at the domain level how things have changed, 982 previous collection, 997 current collection. But for me, even more valuable are looking at success indicators. So I can see since my last collection, classroom teacher use of the 4Cs went from 908 to 919. Student use of the 4Cs went from 998 to 1013. I can have those together, take a screenshot of that if I want to, but just at a high level, great to see where things have changed. I'm going to go back to success indicators. And here, I'm going to open up teacher use of the 4Cs. I typically start with teacher frequency of computer use in the classroom, just kind of get a lay of the land. If teachers aren't asking students to use devices, chances are you're not going to see a whole lot within the 4 success indicators. A couple data points I like within communication and collaboration. I'm going to quickly go into collaboration. I'm also going to go into critical thinking. But within collaboration, this is one that I like a lot. Teachers ask students to collaborate online with classmates. I also like this one. Teachers ask students to collaborate online with teachers. With each of these data points, you have the ability to compare to the past. So what does historical data look like? And I can change my time slice. So if I want to look at my first collection compared to my most recent one, it allows me to do that. I can compare to student data. Super interesting to see that students are saying they're doing this more frequently. I imagine this is what you'll see for this data point. One reason for that is that students go from classroom to classroom, so they might be seeing one teacher that's asking them to do this. That student is reaching, that teacher is reaching a bunch of students. What's helpful there is knowing that changing a few teachers' behaviors can have a big impact on the number of students who are being exposed to a certain kind of activity. One thing that's interesting about this when compared to this one is that if I compare this data point to students, you're probably going to see more similar results. And one of the reasons for that is because if I'm a student, it's unlikely that I'm collaborating online with my teacher if my teacher is not actually asking me to do that. Whereas this one, teacher might not be explicitly asking me to do this, but I might be doing it with my classmates at home. If we're working on a project, I might be collaborating online with it. So a couple reasons why you might be seeing the discrepancies there. You have the ability to compare across schools. If you create cohorts, you have the ability to do that. We have another video for that if you're interested in looking at that. If you're in a service agency, you have the ability to compare to other districts and then compared to all users on the platform. And then the state pops up if you have at least 10% of districts in the state that have collected data. I opened up critical thinking as well. I right-clicked it. One of the reasons why I opened this up is because we have some new data points here. These are new data points added in partnership with ISTE. You're not going to have historical data for these unless you've done 2 collections so far this school year. These are great, and I would certainly recommend taking a look at these additional data points. I'm going to go back to the classroom domain. And some other things to take a look at: teacher digital citizenship. How much time do they spend teaching around various topics and what their knowledge is of those topics? Similarly, you can see students, how frequently do they get instruction around specific topics, both from student and elementary students. So student is middle and high school, elementary student is elementary. Same with student use of the 4Cs. Student frequency all the way down to student creativity is going to be your middle and high schoolers. Elementary is going to be your elementary school students. So those are separated from each other. Student sources of internet and cell usage advice. One reason why I like looking here is because if you look at student sources of advice about responsible internet and cell phone usage, the number one response is almost always parents and guardians. Yet when you look at parent data for districts and schools that have collected that, typically find that parents aren't particularly comfortable talking to their kids about this stuff. So if you're looking for ways to engage parents to support the work that you're doing, this could be a good place to start. Assessment, teacher frequency of digital assessment tool use. This is one that I like going to and seeing how often teachers use data to personalize instruction and provide timely feedback. This is a big one. I was a former educator, and I did my best to use informal data to provide that feedback to my kiddos. And then within assistive technology, looking at online use for course materials, things like are teachers posting homework? Are they using digital textbooks? How frequently do they use assistive technology and what their involvement is in that? And then finally, if you collected parent data, you'll see parent data around digital citizenship. So that's the classroom in a nutshell. You've got your CSP to help you out if you have additional questions.